Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 4 of the Halloween Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing 20 Halloween-themed Cricut projects in 20 days. 10 of the projects are designed by me and 10 are guest designer projects from some of my crafting friends. Today's project is by Sarah Christie and it's these adorable personalised candy bar wrappers. Sarah is the author and designer of Extraordinary Chaos, a craft, lifestyle and travel blog sharing Cricut crafts, tutorials and free SVG files. Sarah is passionate about crafts and designing SVG alphabets and colouring alphabets. These candy bar wrappers would make an excellent gift for your kids this Halloween, or you could make a whole load of them and give them out to trick-or-treaters. The files for this project are free for the next 24 hours. Here's how to download them. Register a free ticket for the Halloween Craft Countdown at craftwithsarah.com/HCC23. If you're already registered, check for an email from me with subject line Halloween Craft Countdown ticket information or any of the other emails from me that you've been sent throughout the countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down this page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/HCC23 bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the Halloween Craft Countdown, plus loads of extra bonus designs. All downloads come in zip folders. You will need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space.
Hi, I'm Sarah and I craft over at extraordinarychaos.com, and over there I create alphabets and words, printable alphabets for crafting, card making and scrapbooking. But thank you for inviting me, Sarah. Sarah's invited me to become part of the Halloween Countdown, and today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make personalised Halloween candy bars. So these are they're super cute and so easy to make in Design Space. So I've got a full alphabet for you to use to go with the tutorial so that you can make your personalised candy bars, and it's a really cute pumpkin and spider alphabet. But then also I've got a set of numbers, so the numbers are available and will be over at extraordinarychaos.com, so I'll make sure they're on the front page so you can find them and they're free to download. You just need to subscribe. Then the alphabet letters are free and will be available through Sarah on her site for you to download and create your own candy bars. These candy bars can be made in any size, so as long as you get your measurements right. So I use a ruler to measure my candy bar wrapper. As long as you get your measurements right, you can make multiple or just single larger candy bars. I'm going to be using for today's event a galaxy bar, and I'm going to take the wrapper off, but you want candy bars that you can remove the wrapper. So if you want to make smaller ones, if you're doing it for trick or treat bags, you could actually use club biscuits because those wrappers come off, and just measure them and make sure you get your sizing right. And then to make my wrapper, I use sticker paper. You can use paper and cardstock and maybe double-sided tape, but I just find this a really quick way to do it, and it prints up beautifully. So I'm using matte sticker paper, and the reason I use matte is because I find that the gloss, even though it looks great, it transfers. So I find that these don't transfer if they're printed onto matte. And the reason that I make them with sticker paper is because they're easy to wrap around, and then you can just peel a bit off and stick it on. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to do first of all is upload our letters to Cricut Design Space. So have an idea what word or what name you want to use and go to upload. Click browse and your files will be in your download folder. So if you find your alphabet, so it's the spider alphabet or Halloween spider alphabet, and I've got 2 files in there. You've got JPEG and PNG. You want the PNG files because I've taken the back off of those. The JPEG are purely for if you want to cut out or make banners by hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to select your first letter and then click complex once it's in. So once you've clicked on complex, click continue, and then you'll be brought to this window. So if you're going to take a back off, this is where you do it, but I've done that. So now click on print then cut image and then click upload. There's a box there so that you can add notes if it's for a certain project, but if not, just continue. They are labelled anyway, and just keep going until you've got the name or all the letters that you want to add to Design Space. So when you've uploaded everything, you can then click on your images and add them to Canvas. And once they're in the canvas, they'll be quite big. So select all, drag them, and then just drag them a little bit smaller, and then that makes them easier to work with. I've also uploaded, I'm going to upload a pumpkin and a spider. So I'll put those in the folder as well with the PNG files so that you can also use them on your candy bars. So I'm just going to arrange my letters. So I want Jack and Joe. And what I've done is I've only uploaded one J because I will duplicate that, and that will, there you go, so that will then go over there. I'm also going to do the same with the 6 because I'll do a 666 candy bar. What we're going to do now is we're going to click at the bottom on blank canvas and then choose a different colour for the top. So I've changed my back of my screen to grey. It just makes it easier when you're working with white. You can see that these letters have got offsets, and it just makes it easier to see them. So I'm just going to create a tiny offset for this spider and the pumpkin because they haven't got one. So I'm just going to make it really tiny and apply it. Now what I want to show you how to do is flatten. So I'm going to click on the background of the offset and change that and make it white. Now if I select all, because you can see there I've got 2 different layers, and that's what happens with print and cut. You just create layers. But if I select all, just drag over my spider, go to the bottom right hand corner and click flatten. That then makes it into one solid image, and that's how you build up these images to make something that's printable. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I make my labels, or in this case candy wrappers. So these are pre-measured out, but what you need to do is measure your candy bar. So to do this, just take the wrapper off, and I'd already cut the ingredients off this one, but I'll just pop it back there and just measure it with your ruler, because obviously you've got your sizing and your guide on Design Space. So then you can grab a square, make it into a print and cut image, and you want to unlock it as well, and you can drag it. So what you now do is you're just going to size it to the size of the candy bar wrapper. So when I look on here, this one, it's 5.9 by 8.47. So that is more or less what I want to create for the square here. So now I'm going to unlock my square at the top, and then I can drag it into an oblong and get my sizing right. So I've just got to faff about with that, or you can go into the top where you've got your lock for the shape, and you can actually change the shape in there too, but just get it to the exact size you want or the size you're happy with. And then I've got it already as a print and cut image, so I can colour it, and this will be my first layer. Once my square is sized, I'm going to colour it, and then I'm going to duplicate it. Now these are print and cut layers, so I'm good, and all I'm going to do is drag that slightly in. So you can select all and position it properly, or you can drag it and do it by eye. It's totally up to you. So all you do to do that is select all, and then if you go to the top bar and you're going to click on align, and then you can choose how you align it, whether you align it left, right, centre, but that just makes it so that it's all balanced. Now I'm going to go to my colour bar and I'm going to choose a colour. So I'll colour that layer. So we'll go for purple for now. We might change it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate that layer again. So once we've duplicated it, now we've got so many different choices here. You can be as creative as you want. So you can colour it. So say, for example, you could colour it white, and we'll just unlock that to make sure that we get it even. But again, you can arrange it or just size it like that. So colour it white, or if you click on colour on that top bar, you can choose a pattern. Now there's patterns preloaded in Design Space. You can also upload your own. So today I'm just going to use one of the Design Space patterns, and this is really good because you can filter them by colour so that you can choose something. Now there's Halloween themed, there's Christmas themed, there's quite a lot of choice, and it's something that I use a lot. So I'm just going to skip through and find a really good pattern. So you've got to check that your pattern works with your letters. So we might mess about. I'm probably going to change this, but just so that you can see, what I'm going to do is hover a letter over. Now, I don't think that's going to work. It needs an offset, definitely. So I'm going to align all of my letters, just line them up. So if you struggle with aligning, if you head to the top left corner, you can turn your grid on, which just helps. And that just helps me to size them, so I can size between the squares. So I'm just going to position my letters. Once they're positioned, I'm going to right click and select all of those letters in that group. And then I'm going to position them. So then I'll go to arrange. So select, right click, select all, and then go to arrange or align, and I'm going to align to the bottom. And they're all in a line on the bottom. So I can see that my A just needs moving slightly larger. And there you go. So now I'm going to select all again, and I'm going to create an offset. And I use offset all the time. It's brilliant for print and cut. So just make a bit of an offset. I want it quite big actually on this one. And then I'm going to click apply, and there's my offset in black. But if I head to the top, I can change the colour of that. Now I'm going to select all, and I'm going to flatten, and that now makes that one image so that it all moves together, and if I print it, it will print as one. So I'm going to pop that onto my wrapper, and what you've got to think about now is where it's going to be on the wrapper when the wrapper wraps around your chocolate or your candy bar. And you want it sort of central, so when it wraps round, it looks good. I'm just not sure about this pattern, so I'm going to change it. So you can do that. I'm just going to unflatten it, and then I'm going to go through and find another Halloween style pattern. And you can see as I scroll through, there's all sorts, so that you can use these for all different occasions. So now I've got this hand-drawn pattern. I'm really happy with that. I'm going to select all and flatten. I will flatten the whole project after, but I just wanted to do that and duplicate it for my next candy bar. Then I can position my jack back, move the main image to the back so that that's sat on the front. And now I'm going to add a pumpkin. So the pumpkin is just really a little detail to finish it off. So we're going to pop it at the top. I'm going to flip it round so that when you turn the chocolate or candy bar over, it's upside down on the label, which will make sense when you see the finished look. And I flipped it the wrong way. There you go. So I flip upside down. And now I'm happy with that. I can then select all and flatten, and that is one image, and that will be ready to print and cut. So now we're going to go on and make the other two wrappers. So I've got the Joe. So again, create your offset and colour it and flatten, and then I'm going to unflatten the candy bar and just create a new different pattern. So you can mess about, change the colours. I think that's it. I'll flatten that and then pop my Joe on there. And again, you can add a pumpkin, or you can add a spider, whatever. So what I want that pumpkin, and I've already flattened it, so I'm just going to unlock it, duplicate it, and then reflatten it, and that's really easy to do. And there's that wrapper. So then just for my last wrapper, I'm going to make it plain, because you might want to save on ink, so you could have a white background. So I'm going to create a 666 just by duplicating my sixes, create an offset. I'm going to just align them a bit because they're just a bit wonky. Create the offset, and then I think I'm going to change that pattern. So yeah, I'm going to make it white. But before I do that, I'm just going to create an offset on my spider, flip him around. He's flattened, so I can pop him up there. Then I'm going to unflatten this layer so that I can change it and change that to white. Just position everything and then flatten again, and I'm ready to print and cut. So when you've sent your project to print and cut, you need the best print quality for this. So choose system preferences. So when you press continue, you get that option. And if you don't see that bar pop up, you have to reduce your design space and it sits behind. Now you can choose fine quality, also change the size to A4 and press print, and that will print your project. So once it's printed, you want to send it to cut, and you want to cut it on medium, cardstock and more, because you don't want to kiss cut this project. You want to cut straight through the sticker paper. So I'm going to use a green matte. I know that most people use blue, but I just prefer the mattes to be super sticky. But I don't press the project down. I just pop it on. I'll just pop it on the mat and feed it into my maker. And I just find that I'm not pressing it down, so I'm not ruining the ink when it's just cut. And once I've finished, there you go, you can see that it's cut right through, because we definitely don't want a kiss cut on this project. And now we're ready to make the candy bar. So I've got my wrapper. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut the edge of the Galaxy Bar wrapper with the nutritional information on. The reason for this is my son's diabetic, so we always need to know carbs. But it could be that you've got food allergies, so I just think it's always useful to have that in there, especially if you're giving it to people that, I don't know, party guests that you don't necessarily know that well. So then I'm going to fold my wrapper over. So I've positioned my letters, but you can move it about. Tighten it over and create some creases, and you can see there that it all fits together well. And then I'm going to just unfold one end of the sticky paper. Now, it's usually quite easy to do, but I'm going to unfold it and just fold it in about 1 inch. You can cut away the edges just so that you don't get any folds, or you can fold them in and then fold it over, and you've got to just pull it really tight so that make sure it's all fit and tight, and then just grab it and wrap it round so that it's really snug around the wrapper, and just fold that edge, and there you go. You can twist it round, but it looks amazing. And one last thing I'm going to show you is this is one of my other candy bars, is you can cut it with a guillotine. I mean, print and cut is amazing, but it's an oblong, so it's actually sometimes quicker just to do it like this. You need the program to make the stickers and to flatten it all, and I find that works really well. But if you're working and your time's short, then use a guillotine to create the wrapper, and you get the same effect. You just got to get your cuts right. And again, then I just fold it over, pop in my nutritional information, and make sure that I fold it so that it's all equal and even. And that's it. They just are really effective, great to make, and as I say, you can make them in multiple different sizes. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you found it helpful. So these are our finished candy bars. So I prefer the ones with a pattern. I've made the plain one just to see what it looks like, or to show you what it looks like without the pattern. So that does save on ink, but then I just think these are so much more effective. And if you're making multiple small bars, then you can print them all out on one sheet. That's that. Please do pop by and say hi. And as I say, if you want the numbers, they're on extraordinarychaos.com, and search spider alphabet numbers, or for a certain amount of time, they'll be on the homepage. And check out my other SVG. So this is a paid file on my site, but then I've got lots of free files too. Okay, so thank you for crafting along with me, and happy Halloween.
I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make a custom Halloween candy bar wrapper. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut crafts and Halloween fun. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 5 of the Halloween craft countdown, but don't forget, the link to get the cut files for this project is craftwithsarah.com/HCC23, but they're only free to download for 24 hours after this video goes live. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!